Spain has endured the deadliest day in 13 years. In one of Barcelona's most popular tourist streets, 13 people were died. They were mown down, basically, as a van was driven deliberately into pedestrians in Las Ramblas. To the south, in a resort as well called Cambrils, 3 pedestrians and 3 police officers were injured too.
Newly released surveillance video shows the terrifying moments in Barcelona yesterday when a van barreled into pedestrians on a busy promenade.
I come down here and the van was coming down the Rambla and I was completely unaware of it until it was pretty much alongside me, and then at this point I saw everyone from the bars start running. Like everyone ran, you know. No one kind of knew what to do. So yeah, we all ran into the theatre, and then from there we stayed in there for like 30 minutes, and after that they allowed us to leave, and then I went and found friends, you know, and went home. I was next to it when it stopped, and I didn't turn around and look, but you know, 50 feet behind me there were people lying face down on the floor, like.
Como día en día voy a mi trabajo, yo soy seguridad, yo soy vigilante y trabajo justamente aquí al lado en el seguro Santa Lucía. Iba a trabajar y justamente paso donde pasó el incidente por la boquería y vi que había mucha gente estaba corriendo. ¿Qué pasó? Había mucha interpretación. Cada uno cuenta su cuento, pero al llegar allí nos metieron los policías antidisturbios por fuerza en un bar y nos cerraron dentro, y al salir vi que había muchos cadáveres de niños que estaban ahí cubiertos por la carretera. Entonces
we were in the street next to where we are now, and we heard gunshots and people were running and screaming. We could see the police. Obviously something serious was happening, so a kind store owner let us into his shop. We hid under the counters, and while we were in the phone shop there was some poor German girl. She was obviously in total shock. She was shaking. But I mean, by the grace of God, we could have been here 2 minutes earlier and in it, because walking to our hotel, we'd decided to take a different route back, and 2 minutes earlier we would have been on the street where it happened.
Empezó a gritar y a correr la gente corría y de golpe se vació la Rambla, porque llegó la policía, todo el mundo fuera y se vació, la Rambla se quedó vacía, que la gente volaba, ¿eh? Yo veía el culo de la furgoneta, veía a la Guardia Urbana corriendo detrás de la furgoneta, ¿sabes?
You just start seeing bodies and you start seeing people sprinting, and you could tell like that was a definition of fear.
Bueno, el que més recordo, i és el que parlava amb la meva parella, és la cara de pànic de la gent, de por real, vull dir, de no saber què passa, corrents, realment no sabia si els perseguia algú armat o no.
We were having dinner and suddenly we heard shots, which we thought were some people partying fireworks or something, and then police started telling people to go inside and hide, and everyone was screaming and they went running to hide. Of course there were a lot of police, but we thought it was just precautional because something could be happening here. We hope there won't be any more incidents, and we don't want they to make us be frightened or whatever. We have to live our lives and be strong.
Xoca moltíssim. Sí. Això jo ho veia, perquè bueno, és que ho hem vist que ha passat a París, a Londres, i les Rambles són els carrers més transitats del món.
Our next guest is in Barcelona. She was having lunch with a friend on Las Ramblas at the moment that this attack happened. She started to see people running for their lives. Police quickly ordered everybody to get inside wherever they could. The restaurant that she ran into pulled down the metal shutters, and she recorded this video from inside. Watch.
We don't know what's happening. One of the waiters showed us footage of what apparently happened just a couple of 100 meters away, and we're absolutely horrified. Like, all we could see was like bodies, like blood and stuff. Like we're totally fine. It's so scary.
That was the view from where she was. Alana Fearon is from Ireland and was wrapping up a holiday in Spain before heading back home. And she joins us now. Alana, it has been an unbelievable day for you. Talk to us about what you were feeling at that moment when you made that recording.
Yeah, obviously it was a bit of a surreal situation to be in because we were just caught up in panic, but we didn't actually know why or what was happening. So we were just really scared, and there was like a small gap in the shutter, and I could see outside from where I was speaking, and like it was just like a ghost town, but there was police everywhere and cordons, blue flashing lights, and all we could hear was ambulance after ambulance after ambulance. After about 45 or 50 minutes, the shutter went off, and we were outside for about 20 minutes, but still not really able to move anywhere. And then next thing, we were told to get back inside, and the shutter went down again. All that we knew was apparently there were 2 gunmen, and that there was a possible hostage situation. So we were put back into the restaurant, and the shutters went down again. And I think it was then we really started to panic. We were supposed to be going home. We didn't know what was going on. We were surrounded by sirens and just pandemonium.
Yeah. Alana, thank you. We're glad that you're okay. And we watched your video and the story of seeing people in a van go by with guns hanging out the door. This is obviously the kind of thing that we've all witnessed, but to actually be living through it and to be realizing in real time that this is happening to you must be so terrifying. We thank you very much for sharing your story with us tonight.
Everything is locked down. The police are with the whole area. Looking for the people.
Shannon Castillo describes the scene in Barcelona moments after Thursday's deadly attacks. She and her husband always dreamed of giving their family the experience of a lifetime. They traveled to the Spanish country on June 3rd and are there with their children and 19-year-old daughter-in-law.
We just always wanted to come here, and we have 2 small children, and just, live the life.
That dream turned into a nightmare following yesterday's gruesome attacks. Their vacation home just a block from where a van plowed through crowds, the family had just finished eating at a nearby restaurant.
We were there walking, and they just came running in herds of people crying. There were people bloody. It was a nightmare. We picked the kids up out of the stroller and, ran at full speed.
Thankfully, they were not hurt, but during the chaos, they lost all of their belongings.
I have no bank card, no cash money, no purse, and now my strollers. I almost died. The whole city's still on lockdown.
The family isn't scheduled to return home until the end of November. But desperate to leave following the carnage, Castillo says she contacted her travel insurance company to arrange an immediate flight home.
Because they said that the United States government hasn't considered it a terrorist attack. They want us to fork out the price of all of us to fly home.
Tony Martinez is part owner of the Barcelona cooking school, located 100 feet from where terrorists drove a van into pedestrians.
It's been a very long 24 hours, either through email or text messages or phone calls. It is a European city, and we all know that right now in Europe and the major capitals, there is some level of risk when it comes to these type of events. But for the most part, you see people there that are enjoying themselves, they're traveling, they're exploring.
I was next to it when it stopped, and I didn't turn around and look, but 50 feet behind me there were people lying face down on the floor. I saw the videos afterwards, and it wasn't nice to watch.
She says authorities had, she thinks, all the necessary information, but that attackers again slipped through the net.
They had the capability and the will to hoover up all our intelligence, our information over the internet, our communications, everything. They take all the information. And we see time and time again, pretty much every lone wolf attack in North America, across Europe, and in Australia as well. These people have always already been on the police radar. But, what happens is there's so much information, electronic information being stored and saved and taken off the internet, that actually they cannot winnow out the people they need to follow. They're not doing the preemptive intelligence-led operations to stop attacks. What they have is just a big database of stuff where an attack happens, it's appalling, everyone's outraged, everyone lights candles, but then they can find out who carried out the attack and who their associates might be. That is police work, that is not intelligence work. People want to be safe on the streets. The Spanish people don't want to be overrun, they want to be safe. That's the basic issue.
Meanwhile, it was also a particularly poignant time for one particular family who'd been caught up not only in the tragic events of La Rambla, but also at the Bataclan Theatre in Paris back in 2015.
It was painfully familiar. You knew immediately what was going on. I was just getting people's reactions, but it was strange because no one was asking why any of this had happened. About 1 in the morning, started listening to the politicians and the reporters on TV tell us the same platitudes. Then, of course, they tore into one another, blaming one another for why everyone was clueless about something everyone knew was going to happen beforehand. I've been working in these immigrant communities, and I've been working on jihadi networks all across Europe, and I thought immediately that it's most likely a Moroccan network. It was interesting because ISIS had always used Spain as its principal jumping off point for getting recruits into Turkey and Syria. And the question for me is, while ISIS was in control, the attacks were fairly localized. But now I ask myself if these networks are starting to hook up on their own, and whether they'll become just more widespread and anarchic across Europe. Yes, the fruit seller across from the bar in Molenbeek in Brussels, what's going on, he knew a hell of a lot more than was going on than the police, but no one seems to be engaged in understanding what is going on in these networks.
She always talked about how happy she was finding Jared and how happy her wedding was.
Heidi told Jared's father that he went to the bathroom when the terrorist van tore into the crowd on La Rambla, never to return.
Every day I skate up and down this street, you know, to and from work, and everyone's always happy in this city. Everyone's always got a smile on their face, you know, and yesterday that changed it, but I don't think it's changed it for very long. As you can see today, everyone's back out and about, like doing their daily lives, and I don't think it'll make too much of an impact on the people. I think everyone will come together and kind of be a community about it.
But of course, the condemnation and also expression of solidarity and the expression of condolences doesn't come just within the EU and outside the EU as well. World leaders have been reacting to this, including the Russian President Vladimir Putin. He described the Barcelona attack as a cruel and cynical crime committed against civilians. He added that this terrorist attack shows that there must be a united international effort to fight terrorism. Quote, terrorists all around the world should know we are resolved to find you and bring you to justice.
I think everyone is still probably a bit shook, like myself, like from the whole situation. You just don't expect it to happen, like to you in a way. You know, you see it on the TV. Like I saw that when it happened in London, and I saw it when it happened in France on TV. But when it's